Is that in the right place? Potentially. Lou, what do you think? Is that camera in the right angle? You just want your ball throwing? Good boy.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you've watched my sort of coming back hello video, I've been gone for 3 months and I've literally just come out the other room and in here. So on that video I mentioned that I'm going to Spain in 2 days time. It's sort of like a day and a half because we're going really early on Saturday morning. I'm going to try and attempt to film this video with Blue here. By the way, he is humongous now. If you haven't seen him for a while, he is fully grown, I think, I hope. He's still a baby in a way because he is still really young. He's not 1 yet, but he is 11 months and he's still got like puppy things about him. So yeah, today I thought I would show you how I'm going to pack, or sort of like what I'm taking with me with medical wise to Spain. So our plan to go to Spain is me and my mum are flying out on Saturday. We're going to be in the apartment from Saturday to Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, we're flying from Murcia over to Palma Nova to meet her friends. So my mum and dad were supposed to be going together, but my dad decided that because the build work, if you don't already know, my mum and dad are building a house basically. The building's going to start next week and my dad just didn't feel comfortable not basically being in the country while it was going on. So I took their place and I'm now going on holiday. And I think it's going to be so nice because Mother's Day is going to be while we're out. Me and my mum can be together. Obviously what I've just told you about my grandma, I can spend all day with my mum. I just think it'll be so nice. I think Blue's trying to get in my suitcase. So yeah, basically down here I have got all of my medical equipment and everything that I'm going to be taking. I don't think I've forgotten anything, but I have got a list, so after I've packed everything I'm probably going to go just double check my list and that, make sure I've got it all in here, but just thought I'd take you along with me today. So for those of you that don't know, on most airlines, and when I say most it's because I'm not sure about all of them, you can get a free medical bag up to normally 20 kilograms ish, that's probably an average, and it's completely free. As long as you've got a doctor's letter to state what you're taking, you can have it for free. So it's really good for people that have a lot of medical stuff they've got to take with you, especially my feed. I mean, it's so heavy. If we had to pay for another suitcase it would cost us a bit with all the flights, so it's a bonus that a lot of flight companies do offer, which is great. So this is my medical bag here. And just at the bottom of it, I have started by putting some towels in there. Now that's mainly for protection of everything that I'm going to put in it, especially my feed, just to make it all stay steady. Because the feed's obviously liquid and the last thing I really need is for one of them bottles to pop and go everywhere. So I've got some towels in the bottom, and then on the top I'm also going to put some more towels on it to keep it secure. So the first obvious thing that I need to pack is my feed. So I am on, which you all probably know by now, I'm on Entra Compacts. I have 6 of them a day, so I have 40 something down there, I don't know how to work that out, but I've got 40 something down here, so I'm going to just start by putting this in my medical bag. Okay, that's all done now. Excuse me, mister. No. Can I film this video for like another few minutes, please? That was okay. I'll throw that when you want. Sorry, he's still like a really needy child. So one thing to mention is obviously because I'm taking my feed with me and it's all going to be in one suitcase, one thing and one tip I will give you is make sure that you take some form of spare in another suitcase. So I'm actually going to pack some more feed in one of my mum's suitcase, so just in case for any reason this gets lost I have a backup. and then it'll keep me going enough till like maybe wherever you're going you've got time to go to a pharmacy or try and get something from somewhere else, at least a day's stock. So obviously if this went missing, the first thing we would do when we got to Spain is we'd try and find out how long our suitcase is going to be if they can get it to us, but if they can't, where else we're going to get this stuff from, because I can't live without my feed. This is my whole source of nutrition. So it's very important to make sure that you take at least another, say at least a few of every item. So for example, you're given sets, pack another one of them. Talking about giving sets, so I'll pack these in next. So obviously I have the long tube in, so I no longer need, so this is the one that I've got in, that's like that. I no longer need the extensions that I put on the bottom of my tube to connect to these. I just have the tube that goes straight into these. So I have going to pack 7 of these and pack 1 more spare in my mum's. So let me put these in. Okay, that's all done. So next thing I am going to pack is Bluey. Right, pass me that ball. One sec, I'm just going to put him in the other room because he's going to distract me and I'm going to end up not packing something properly. I got him this new ball today, which is why he's obsessed with it. Look at him. I won't be a second. Right, okay, he's in the other room. He's just at that stage, like I said, where he's really needy. So sometimes, like when I'm doing something, he wants to be involved, but because he's still a puppy, he just wants to like, he does like really silly things. Because of the breed he is as well, he's like really attention seeking, honestly. So yeah, next thing I am going to pack is my syringes. So these are the syringes that I use. It's kind of, if you've got a feeding tube preference, what syringe you use. Obviously it needs to fit onto whatever tube you've got or given set. But these are ones that I use. I never use small ones anymore, just because if you use a small one, especially if you're flushing a lot and things, you just end up having to like keep constantly drawing whatever you need to out. So I use a big one, you can get so much more in them. So I'm probably going to take 4 with me. Now you can reuse them, but what I like to do is I like to use the same one for feed, same one for water, and then same one, for example, for my meds. The feed especially, if any of you guys are on feed, you'll know how thick it is, and it's like it discolours the syringe or whatever. So you don't want to use your syringe and then have to use it for like medicine afterwards. It just, I don't know why, it's completely your preference as to what you do, but I just prefer to keep kind of one thing to one and one thing to the other. So I'm going to take 4 of them, just 1 as a spare, and like I said, I'm going to pack another one potentially in my own hand luggage or in my mum's suitcase, just so I've got a spare. So I'll put them there. Next thing I'm going to pack is, I'll pop this in there. So if any of you are an OG, you'll remember I bought this baby blanket from Primark, I want to say. It's literally just a baby blanket. And the reason I got this is because every time I was doing my feed or every time I was doing meds, it's a very messy procedure, like especially with your feed, it's just such a messy thing. And I used to either have to use a towel that I could just use that one all the time, or I'd end up just getting it all over me and like all over my bed, and it just, feed stains is very hard to get out, if any of you know what I'm talking about, when it goes on your bedding. Like if your tubes ever come uncollapsed overnight, it is just the worst mess and it stinks. So I bought this and it's the best thing I ever did. It was literally like £3, maybe £4, I'm not sure, but just a Primark baby blanket. So big enough, like it is quite big. So I just put it over my knee, over my legs, wherever I need to have it, and it's literally like my saviour. I use it all the time. So yeah, that's gonna go in there as well. I'll probably put that as one of the items on top. So next thing I am going to pack is my medication. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to pack before I actually put it in. Reason being for that is because I'm thinking about maybe getting one of like my old makeup bags and putting them all in there, so I know where everything is. But I'll just show you what I'm taking. So first of all, I'm taking Dioralyte. Now this is something that I don't know if you remember watching the the vlog about one of my dietitian's recommendations. It was to put Dioralyte in with my bottled water. It just helps give you the kind of electrolytes and things like that, and when she suggested it, especially when it's a warm day, make sure you have one of these. It's supposed to help your POTS and things like that. So especially when I'm going to Spain, don't know what the weather's going to be like. It might be horrific, it might be raining and cold, I'm not sure, you just can't predict it in April, but I'm taking it anyway because I normally tend to have it even when it's not hot. So that's the first thing I'm going to be taking. Next thing I'm going to be taking is lansoprazole, so that is my acid medication. Next thing I'm going to be taking is my Midodrine, so that's one of my POTS medications. Next thing I'm going to be taking is my Ivabradine, another POTS medication. Next thing I'm going to be taking is my Cyclizine, and that is my anti-sickness medication. Next thing I'm going to be taking is codeine. So this is the latest pain med that I'm on for my tube. I've been on morphine and I can't remember the name of the other one. You guys might remember what it was. I want to say citalopram, but that's an antidepressant, isn't it? I can't remember. I'll think about it. I can't remember. I was on another one before that and they just kind of wasn't doing much, and I think it's because when you're on something for so long, correct me if I'm wrong, this might not be true, but as I was on it for so long it just seemed to not do anything, so they keep kind of switching it, making sure I'm not on one for too long. So I'm back on codeine. I started on this last week, I want to say. So yeah, big bottle of, and it's got to be liquid codeine so I can put it straight down my tube. I need to actually get my mirtazapine, which is the antidepressant that I'm on at the minute. I don't even know where they are, but I've got it wrote down on my list, so I'll get that in a second. I won't forget because it's on my list. Obviously my pill crusher, I'll be taking that for the medication that I can't actually physically swallow. So I swallow my lansoprazole and stuff like Cyclizine I crush and put down my tube. Also got some gauze. So these are, I've had these for quite a while. There was absolutely loads of them. I got them from Amazon and it's just in like a clear container, so it keeps them dry all the time. So I've got these. Next thing I've also got is my Ilex cream. Now this is the one, honestly, if you are having troubles with your feeding tube, I've said this before, but this cream, oh, it is just like an angel made it. I cannot describe it. Like barrier creams, barrier sprays, as much as I've used them before, I just feel like they don't do much. Whereas this, oh my goodness me, it literally, you put your cream on. I'll maybe show you the next time I put it on, so what it looks like when I first put it on and then maybe a few hours later. So the cream itself turns itself into like an actual thick barrier. Now I put a lot on because I need a thick barrier at the minute with the amount of acid that's coming out my tube, but honestly it's the best thing ever. I get it prescribed to me. I never used to, I don't know if you can see it, but it's literally just called, let me just tap my screen so you can see it. It's called Ilex. And honestly, it's just unbelievable. It's the best thing I've ever used. If you have tube problems or if you need a good barrier cream, get this. It's really good. I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, actually, before I forget, I think it is on my list, is these. So these are, the reason why I've not got them down here is because I'm going to use them tonight, but baby bottles. This is something that I've used for a while to put my medication in before I'm about to take it. So much easier than using a glass or a mug or whatever I used to use. So the reason why these are out is because I've used them today and I'm using them before I go to bed. But I'll be taking 2 of these. One to put my meds in and then one to flush it with sterile water. I also will be taking, which I don't have out right now, but I think it is on my list as well, is I'll also take a spare balloon syringe, which is slightly different than my other syringe, and I'll also be taking the spare little glass sterile water bottles that you put in your balloon. I always just think, even though I'll have just changed my balloon before I go on holiday and I won't need to do it before I get back, I always like just taking the, like, it is spare. I just prefer taking it. It just makes me feel better that I've got it, just in case I need it, or just in case I need to check if it's popped. I've got it there as a backup. And then apart from that, I actually have 2 pumps. I've just noticed how dirty this is and it needs cleaning. I've actually got 2 pumps from Abbott. I've got one that I use as a spare. So obviously I've got a spare pump and a charger for it. And obviously my stand, I'll be taking this. My other normal one is in my backpack with my water bottle in it, so that's one in there and a spare one. Now the reason I feel a lot better about taking a spare is if my pump broke while I was there, what on earth would I do? Obviously I'd have to probably just manually syringe in that much water and that would just take forever, but I just like to take a spare just in case. And obviously I'll also be taking my backpack with me, so this will be what I actually travel with. It'll be on my bag while we're in the airport. I often get very funny looks going through security with a big 1,000 milliliter bottle of water basically. It normally gets swabbed by security, loads of checks and stuff like that, but they can see it's medical. They can literally see the tube going into me, so it's fine. But just pre-warning, if any of you got a feeding tube and you're travelling with your feed or with water or whatever, you will get funny looks in security. But normally, especially when you're actually in the UK side, it's easy because people can understand you. Whereas last time I was coming home from Spain, it took me and my mum like 15 minutes to get through security because they just didn't understand what it was. But as soon as I actually showed them my tube, they was like, oh, okay, go through. So yeah, I'm not going to put my medication in right now into the suitcase because I actually need to have some of it, and like I said, I need to use the baby bottles. But I'm going to give this a clean, and I still need to pack my clothes, but that's going in another suitcase, one that we paid for. And the only other thing that I'm going to say is, like I said, I'm going to put a towel on top of that, and I'm going to make sure that I have spares in my mum's suitcase as well. So I think that's everything. Like I said, I've got my list in the other room, so once everything's actually physically in my suitcase, I'm going to check my list and make sure I have got everything, just to make sure, because the last thing you need is going abroad and just forgetting something. It would be horrendous. A company I used to be with, I can't remember what they was called, I want to say Nutritia, but I don't know if I'm making this up. I never used to be on Abbott, it's only in the past few years I've changed them, and that company actually used to deliver your feed. If you was going away, they would actually deliver it to where you was going to, so you would never need to take any with you. You could ring your hotel or wherever you was going before and just double check it was there and they'd confirm it. They'd like bring it in these big like plastic boxes. It was so good, it was free as well. But now I've changed Abbott, they don't do that unfortunately, but it's no harm. Like I said, I can take a medical bag, it's no problem at all. It's, a lot of airlines offer it. So with EasyJet and Jet2, the process was slightly different. EasyJet was literally so easy. I just live chatted them like I did last time, told them what I was taking, that was fine, added the bag on. Jet2 on the other hand was a bit funny. They weren't funny, like they added it straight away, but because I told them I had POTS, they made me get a fit to fly, which is called a MediFit, they call it. I had to get my doctors to sign that I was basically fit to fly. Luckily my doctors didn't make me pay for it, but just a pre-warning, if any of you are flying with Jet2 and you tell them you've got POTS, they are going to say to you it affects your major organ, which is your heart, so you're going to have to get a MediFit. So just be prepared. If you're flying with them and you tell them you've got POTS, you're going to have to get that signed. My other conditions didn't matter at all, but POTS, I had to get it, and it was really annoying because my doctors was like, we don't do this, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, we do this. So anyway, and then the other flight, which is the internal one, which is the Murcia to Palma-Nova or Alicante to Palma-Nova, whichever airport we're going to, that's with Air Europe. They have also been really funny about the medical bag itself. They've asked me to send them pictures of what I'm taking, just loads of different things. So I've not actually got confirmation that I actually have a medical bag with them yet, but like I said, not all companies do it. It does state it on the website that they have it, but as of yet it's not booked on. But like when me and my mum just said, if it comes to it, we'll just pay for it. We need it. So yeah, I think that is going to conclude my video, because I'm sure you don't really want to see me packing my clothes, because that's probably not as interesting. I don't even know what I'm packing. When you go to Spain in April, like, is it going to be hot? Is it going to be snowing? Is it going to be raining? Who knows? No idea. So I'm probably just going to pack like some jeans, probably some jumpers, but then during the day I might just pack some skirts or something. But I'm a very cold person, so I know that I need to be prepared, not take too much. But my mum said to pack one bikini just in case it is nice and warm when you're in the sun. You might just want to sit on the sunroof or something. So yeah, I'm going to conclude today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're all okay, and I think the next time we will speak, it will hopefully be on Spain Day, and it'll just be so nice. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's just going to do me and mum the world of good right now. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.